46 million. That's how many Americans had medical debt on their credit reports in 2020. And medical debt itself is the leading cause for personal bankruptcy in the US.
The fastest way to go bankrupt in America isn't gambling. It's getting sick. So when you check in, they give you this little sheet that says this is going to be the estimated cost. Could be higher, could be lower. Mine said around $1,500, closer to $1,600. And I'm in this machine for 55 minutes alone with my thoughts, and I start to feel incredibly guilty. I feel bad because here I am costing my family money because I'm sick and we can't figure out what's going on with my ear. And I'm thinking this money could go to my daughter's college. I mean, I'm already spending money so that she's in a different country so that she's safe because I knew that the shit that's happening right now in this country would happen. And then I start thinking about all the other families out there that are struggling to make ends meet and can't afford health care. The people that's rationing maybe their insulin right now. The mom and dad that their little kid has cancer and they can't afford their medical bills. We have a president right now that is spending $800 million a day on this war that you and I didn't ask for.
You were in the hospital for a week. You must have stacked up on tens of thousands of dollars of medical
Yes.
debt. How much?
50,000.
Did you ever pay it?
No, I couldn't pay it.
Did they call you to pay it?
Yes, they did.
What would you tell them?
I don't have it. That's what I told them.
There's a healthcare crisis in America. In the so-called richest country in the world, the number one cause of bankruptcy is medical debt. Pennsylvania's been hit hard by this crisis, where over 1 million Pennsylvanians are at risk of losing their Medicaid, and hospitals around the state are closing.
Why is the mainstream media not talking about the fact that we are at least $220 billion in medical debt, and at least 41% of working Americans are stuck with medical bills they can't pay? In this survey of nearly 20,000 U.S. adults conducted June through August 2025, roughly 1/3 of the respondents, that's nearly 82 million Americans, said that they have made at least one trade-off with daily living expenses to afford healthcare. This is what happens when you let the system own your healthcare instead of owning it yourself.
I got a letter from collections. Apparently, I have a medical bill I haven't paid. I was under the impression I had been paying off that bill in monthly increments. They said that physician billing and hospital billing are different. So I thought I had a expensive bill, thousands of dollars bill from all of it together. Turns out that it was like $2,000 for the hospital services. And then on top of it is a $1,400 bill for physician services from the same place.
Cancer doesn't just attack your body. It attacks your stability because the bills don't arrive just all at once, right? They slowly drip in. One envelope, one notification, one note that says this isn't covered. And then each one comes with panic, right? You start dreading getting the mail. You avoid opening your statements because you can't handle that one more thing. And the worst part is that people don't talk about this. They ask about your scans and your hair and your energy, but not the debt that you're quietly carrying while still trying to be the strong one, right?
This is why sometimes you're going to hear stories about somebody going to the hospital and maybe they had a major medical problem and they had CAT scans and they had surgery and they got IV antibiotics and they were in the ICU 10 days and they get a bill or they see their explanation of benefits from the medical practice or the hospital and it was billed at $200,000. Well, that facility is trying to capture all available charges to that person's medical insurance.
Are you fucking killing me?
Where did you hear that?
Fucking kill me.
Who taught you?
Fucking kill me.
Who taught you?
Just in case you've ever wondered what happens when you don't pay your medical bills, my doctor for the first time the other day said to me, "You have an outstanding balance." And all I could do was stand there like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much."
Just seeing your baby in so much pain was just like the worst feeling as a mom.
Jessica Farwell is describing frantic moments from October 2022.
You literally can walk across the street to the hospital quicker than that ambulance could have brought us there. And they charged me $10,200
Jessica faced another battle. Bills amounting to more than $100,000 for the 15-minute helicopter ride and the 0.3-mile ambulance ride. Despite what she says doctors promised her, Jessica's insurance only covered less than half of the helicopter bill, leaving her on the hook for more than $57,000. And only a fraction of the ambulance bill was covered, leaving her responsible for more than $7,300.
Pennsylvania is a state where the national healthcare crisis can be seen clearly. First is the crisis of rural hospital closures. Across the country, 182 rural hospitals have closed since 2005. For-profit hospitals have only made things worse by closing any hospital that isn't turning a profit, which tend to be rural hospitals that serve poor people. The other crisis is the looming Medicaid cutoff, or the end of the federal health emergency, which stripped millions of people of their Medicaid coverage. Medicaid recipients across Pennsylvania are already beginning to receive notices in the mail that they might lose their health care.
There has been a very significant change in the American healthcare consumer in that they put off care.
Exactly.
And they don't get care, even for chronic situations.
Yeah.
Patients can't afford to go to the doctor when they have diabetes or kidney problems or those kinds of things. They don't go because they can't. They can't afford it because their employer bought them a $10,000 or a $5,000 deductible.
Right.
And as we talked about before, and if we haven't said it on this, healthcare debt is crushing a huge number of people in the United States. It is one of the major causes of bankruptcy for individuals in the country.
Do you want to know how bad healthcare is in America? Here's how bad it is. I get stitches, cut my finger the other day. Go into the hospital, get my stitches done. No big deal, whatever. I have to wait 2 weeks to get them taken out. In the meantime, I get billed for my visits. Before insurance, for 5 stitches, $3,800. After insurance, $1,800. Or $1,900, excuse me. After insurance, $1,900 for 5 stitches for a terrible hospital visit. Anyway, fast forward, so I get my bill and it's time to take the stitches out, so I schedule an appointment at the urgent care that is associated with the hospital that I went to, same company. So I schedule suture removal appointment online, and then I go in for the appointment and they say, sorry, we're not going to take those out. Since you got them done at the hospital, you have to get them removed at the hospital. I said, why didn't you tell me that when I scheduled the appointment online? They said, sorry, go to the hospital. So I go to the hospital. And then I wait around for a while in the ER, and then I get back and I ask the nurse, hey, this is what happened. They turned me away at urgent care, told me to come here, that you guys would do it for free. Is that true? And the nurse said, let me check on that. I'm going to check with billing really fast. So they go check on billing, and then they say, sorry, billing says that you'll have to pay to get these stitches removed. And I said, that really sucks because I paid $1,800 to have that done after insurance. And they said, that is absolutely ridiculous. And I said, I know. And then I said, gonna be honest, I'm not gonna pay any more money to the hospital because I already paid too much anyway. So I'm just gonna go.
In the United States, people aren't just afraid of getting sick. They're afraid of the bill. And the strangest part is that many Americans think that this is normal.
I'm not gonna have health care next year. I'm 57, I'm healthy, but all I can afford is the catastrophic care.
$83,334.33 for what? Why does healthcare suck so damn bad in America? Why am I flying to other countries and getting the tests and the results that I need in 2 days, which is more than I've gotten over the past 10 years?
$43.97. Maybe that's like $55, $60 maybe. It's about the exchange rate. 3 medications, a month's supply. See that? $112.15. All right, 112 euros and 35 cents. Maybe $135, $140. So in total, it was $112.35 plus $43.97. So like $164 5.
My daughter had to go by ambulance to the emergency room a couple months ago because she had a really scary seizure. It was $1,000 for the ER, and then she had to go back to the ER a few days ago because she fell and she wasn't like lifting her arm. She was crying. I was so nervous she broke her arm. So I took her back. She didn't break her arm, by the way. She was fine. Another $1,000, and I haven't paid that either yet. I have my own medical expenses coming up because of my back, and I might need back surgery. I'm doing physical therapy and everything. So I haven't paid those bills yet because they'll give you care even if you haven't paid, but like when I go to the doctor, I can't see my orthopedic unless I pay first. What happens if I don't pay it? I don't care about my credit. I already have a car. There's no mortgage on this house. Has anybody just not paid it? Like, is somebody gonna show up on my doorstep and like sue me? Because that's like what I'm nervous about. I don't know.
People are going to abuse it.
You have to basically, so whoever has insurance, when you go to the hospital, you pay for like 3 people who don't have insurance. Is like the math on how it comes out to be.
Oh, really?
So like a bag of like IV fluids probably cost the hospital like, $120, $150, something like that. I've heard some people say that they got charged like $900 for a bag of fluids.
I wouldn't be shocked.
And it's just a cost. Like obviously you have to pay the nurse to hang it. You have to pay for the, the IV to get started. Pay the fluids, the line, the time in the hospital obviously takes a portion of that too. So all those factors contribute to it.
A man received a $12,000 bill from his health insurance company for lab work he'd done 3 months prior, at the recommendation of a doctor he made certain was in network. We all know that the American healthcare system is an infuriating nightmare on the best of days. The surprise medical bill that content creator, attorney, and many women's TikTok boyfriend, Andrew, received is a perfect example of why so many of us are so angry about this system. Because as a lawyer, it's likely Andrew has pretty good health insurance. But that didn't matter. It was no match for the cartoonish scams of the healthcare industry. Andrew is insured by a little company called Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Yes, the very company that back in December was forced to scuttle their plans to begin limiting the amount of anesthesia that people could have during surgery amid the uproar that ensued when they announced this new change just weeks before this guy's whole thing kicked off. Now, knowing that the American healthcare system is a scam, Andrew made sure that he booked an in-network doctor at an in-network facility. But that doctor then sent his blood work to an out-of-network lab, totally unbeknownst to him. So he ended up with a bill for more than $12,000, which he joked is enough money to fly to Paris, get the lab work done over there, spend 3 months chilling in Paris, and then fly back. So, he's kind of furious. Now, the good news is, in 2022, the federal government passed the No Surprises Act, which prohibits, among other things, exactly what happened to Andrew, patients being surprise billed for services received from a healthcare provider that they did not know and were not told was outside of network.
That's not mine.
Yeah, that's going to be for my appendix surgery.
I think.
I went into the...
Why didn't you get it on a payment plan?
He didn't have insurance.
I didn't have insurance or anything
No,
like that.
why didn't you get on a payment plan? For the 1,973 hospitals do that.
Pay medical bills, they'll drop off in a few years.
Okay, you guys just received the worst advice from everyone. It's just so stupid. That's so stupid, man.
My husband and I received a medical bill in the mail yesterday, which happens a lot because we have horrible insurance. Hey, Cigna, take that. I need someone to explain this one, however, to me like I'm 5 years old, because I don't understand what the fuck is going on. I don't understand the American healthcare system as a whole, but this bill specifically, really don't understand this. Need y'all to help me get there. Let me explain what this is for. My 5-month-old daughter had a fever last month. We bring her to the doctor like any responsible parent would. They do a nose swab to test for the flu, COVID, all those things because it's cold and flu season. Good decision, right? They send it off. She's good. She's got none of it. The fever goes away in a few days. Great. I assume we're gonna get a bill for it because we have horrible insurance. Hey, Cigna. But do I expect to receive this bill? No. I Google it because I'm curious, how much this might cost us. Google says that the max amount in most situations that you'll pay for something like this is about $300. I was like, whoa, that's a lot of money. $300, that's a lot, but hey, it's worth it. That's our baby. Of course, we'll pay for that. No big deal. And maybe our insurance will cover a bit of that. So maybe it'll only come out to like $100. We pay for insurance. Maybe they'll do something. Get this bill in the mail yesterday, and when we open it, to our surprise, not $100, not even $300. At this point, I would be happy to see $300. It was not $300. I want you to take a moment to think about it and guess. What would you assume a cotton swab up the nose would cost? Take a guess. Your guess was $984. I don't know why you guessed such a specific number, but you'd be right. Now, this is the part I need explaining. Why does a nose swab that when you Google it says it won't cost nearly $1,000, cost $1,000.
So far, I've paid $622.60 to find out that I have skin cancer. And I say so far because they did already call me to let me know that I will at least owe $300 for another surgery that I have to get next week so that they can remove more of the skin from the area. And that's the minimum. We all know it's gonna be more than $300. But yeah, I had a $90 copay because the dermatologist is a specialty department. And then my initial bill was $159.54, which I didn't think was that bad. But then I just got another follow-up bill, which apparently was adjustments, I don't even really know, for $373.06.
I know, we have this conversation every time I get on the internet and I'm like, I'm not paying my medical bills. I will pay a clinic. I will pay like a small clinic. I'll pay that. I'm not paying a hospital bill. And the question of entitlement, like, why do you not feel entitled to healthcare? Everybody should just stop paying their medical bills. I can't afford it. I'm not fucking paying it. I'm not paying it. Groceries are so expensive. My mortgage is $2,300 and we already pay over $1,000 a month for fucking health insurance. I'm not paying more money. I'm not paying more money. My family makes $400 over the Medicaid limit. $400. And that doesn't mean that I can just magically pay my medical bills now. That $400 over means that I now have to pay $1,000 for health insurance.
Somebody in my comment section said that I should call and set up a payment plan for my unpaid medical bills from the hospital. And I just want it to be known publicly, I'm never paying that stuff back. Those bills are not my problem. They're not. That's the last thing I'm worried about. If you would like to pay them for me, feel free. But I'm not going to call and set up a payment plan because I'm not going to pay it.
A couple of months ago, when we couldn't pay our medical bills, it completely consumed our life. My husband and I would only argue about paying the bill and how we were going to have our bill go to collections. I was honestly just over it, and so I decided I was going to find a way to earn online from home, and I got on TikTok and saw a mom, earning during nap time, and so I was like, let me figure out what that is. So I went and got her free ebook. I learned and I started earning in 5 days of starting, and I have been consistently since, including today during bath time.
Y'all, let me tell y'all what the fuck just happened. So a debt collector calls me. I'm not even ashamed of it because it's for medical bills. Nobody can afford healthcare here in America. So she called me for some tests I had done last year, and she was like, hey, I'm here to collect this debt and da-da-da-da. I was like, ma'am, I definitely do not have this payment right now, but I would love to set up a payment plan. She was like, okay, cool. She was like, can you do like could you do $144 a month? I was like, to be honest, no, not right now. I was like, but can I sign up for the lowest payment plan? I will have this thing paid off at the end of the year because I get a bonus that will cover this whole thing.
So what happens if you don't pay your medical bills? Well, as a person, you could either be sent to collections and have your credit affected. Many people actually file for bankruptcy. The most common cause of bankruptcy in the United States is medical debt. And so that's what you can do. But what happens in the hospital system? So across the U.S., there's about $40 to $45 billion a year of unpaid medical bills.
43% of bankruptcies in America are medical bankruptcies, people that cannot afford to pay the bills. First of all, there's a whole process of paying less in bills. Number two, and I will keep on repeating this video in different formats, guys. Check out the majority of illnesses. Diabetes, heart issues, arteries issues. Most of them literally stem from food. Most of them can be avoided if you as a parent do a good job and teach your kids how to eat. And you now becoming a young adult, learn and keep on eating healthy. Spending that extra half an hour to cook instead of eating pre-processed stuff. If every American was doing it, two things will happen. Medical bankruptcies would at least half, and the cost of healthcare would go down. Because healthcare, being private, operates on a concept of supply and demand.
Will the hospital come after you if you do not pay your hospital bill? The worst thing you can do if you have medical debt is just act like you're not going to pay attention to it and it's going to go away, because it's not. The hospital at some point, it may not be the first month, it may not be the first year, but at some point they're going to file a lawsuit to get that money back. And if they do that, now you're on the defense and you're scrambling to try to figure something out, and your debts probably rose to a level that you're not going to be able to pay it.
So Trump just reversed the rule that our medical bills will go back on our credit report. Just as people are losing their Medicaid and Medicare. You know what this means, don't you? If you can't afford your medical bills due to high copays, high deductibles, no insurance, your credit report is fucked.